Coffee break with me. Woo! Okay, so you guys know one of my friends convinced me to buy the Naked 3 palette. Not to mention, a lot of you guys said, Danny, can you please review it for you guys? So I did. I reviewed it for you guys. It wasn't the best review of the reviews I've done. I kind of had my mind made up from the beginning. I said, hey, you know what? This is not a palette that I particularly am fond of. It's not something that I would like. I had already decided not to buy it, but some of you asked me to try it, to review it for you guys, so I did. So I'm going to link that review down below. I don't like to make up my mind concretely about something without giving it a fair shot. So if you guys watched my top 10 winter essentials and my November favorites and my Laura Geller review, you guys saw that I was wearing a particular makeup look. A lot of you asked me to recreate it, so this is what this video is about. But the reason I did that makeup look was to try out my Naked palette. I've seen a lot of Naked, or my Naked 3 palette. I've seen a lot of Naked 3 palette tutorials already, and they're really good. This is where I'm a little conflicted about the review that I did, because the palette isn't bad. It's just not... I feel like this palette could have been done the size of the Naked Basics. You know what I mean? It could have been a really small, neutral, rose taupe undertone palette. It didn't have to be a full-on Naked palette with a ton of shades that all look very similar, and then half of them are really poor quality. So that was my feeling towards it. So it's not a palette that sucks. It's not a palette that's bad. It's just a palette that didn't need to be this big. So it is a little, I didn't want to confuse you guys. I definitely don't think it's worth the $52. But regardless, this isn't my review. This is a tutorial on this look. I did this look trying to use my palette and trying to understand it a little bit better, kind of looks that I could achieve with it. I did mention in the review that this was a palette that I wouldn't see myself reaching for very often, and when I did reach for it, it would probably be to use a transition color out of it or a highlight color, but not necessarily create a whole look out of it. So someone's texting me. So I made it my goal to create a full look with the palette, and that's what I have for you guys today. So basically, it's kind of like a smoky eye. I don't know what to call it anymore. You guys know I'm not a makeup artist. I just like to play with makeup, and this is kind of what I came up with. The videos that you have seen this look before, I do have black wing liner, and I didn't do it today because I'm doing another video and I didn't want to mess things up. So I did add a wing liner to this look, and the wing liner that I'm wearing in the other videos is the Milani Eye Tech Extreme. So if you guys want to see how I achieve this look, please keep watching. We are going to start off by priming our eyelid with MAC's Paint Pot in Painterly. Then we're going to take the Naked 3 palette and take the color Strange on a flat shader brush. I'm using my e.l.f. $1 one, and apply that to our brow bone for a subtle highlight. Then we're going to take the color Limit on a fluffy blending brush. This is the MAC 217, and we're going to blend that into our crease, and we're just going to buff it out. We just want it to look like a fade. So just buff that into your crease. Then we're going to take the color Blackheart. That's the darkest color in the palette. It's a black with a rose gold glitter. And we're going to pack that into our eyelid. All over the eyelid, I go back and forth probably 3 times and pack that into the eyelid with a flat shader brush. Then we're going to take a clean blending brush and just soften out the harsh lines from the black eyeshadow. Just go back and forth over and over until you have no harsh lines where the black eyeshadow ends. Then take that color again, Limit, to your blending brush and apply it to your crease. You kind of want to re-emphasize that taupe color. Now take that same flat shader brush and emphasize the black. Now we're going to curl our lashes and take Milani's Liquid Eye waterproof pencil and apply that to the tight line and the waterline, which you can't see because my obviously amazing filming skills got in the way. And whatever's left on that flat shader brush, you're also going to smudge it on your lower lash line. Now take your favorite mascara and apply a couple heavy coats. And I just took a Laura Geller highlighter and applied that to my inner corner just to open up my eyes a little bit. And that's it. That's our finished look. Think. Very easy, right? You guys know I only do easy eyeshadow tutorials, and most of the time they're almost like the same steps, the same brushes, just with different colors. So if you're ever wondering how I did something, you could probably just ask me what eyeshadows I used, and you don't need to see a tutorial just because I use the same steps every single time. So this is the eyeshadow look that I created. It's super simple. Again, I used like the darkest color in the palette, and then I use one of the lighter shades to kind of familiarize myself with the lighter colors in this palette because they're the ones that I wasn't particularly fond of. And again, my thoughts are still the same about this palette. If you guys have that VIB coupon that they're sending out for the holidays, it would probably be a good idea to use it on this palette. If you could get it at a discount, then go ahead and get it. But I still don't think that $52 I think is a lot of money, and a lot of the colors in here are so similar. If you do have really fair skin or light colored eyes, green, blue, hazel, really blonde hair, this palette is definitely for you. This is definitely a palette to suit cool undertones or really fair-skinned ladies. But again, to each their own. Makeup is so amazing, so wonderful, that it's one of those things that is just so varying. It's kind of like what you see in your partner. You know, what do you see in your girlfriend or your boyfriend? What do you like about them? What you notice in them, it might not be the same thing that other people notice in their significant others. What you look for as value or as of importance in someone or in something may not be the same thing that others look for. So for me, I like variety, and this palette doesn't offer that much variety for me. So that's one of the reasons why it's not one of my favorites. I look for quality versus quantity. So if this palette were a through and through great palette, like I'm saying all 12 shades were great shades, quality-wise, I wouldn't care if they were all the same color, but half of the colors aren't that great for me. So again, I don't want to bash this palette because this palette is definitely a staple for some of you in your makeup collection. So again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comment section below if you're gonna do it yourselves. If you try any of these looks that I show you guys, please remember to tag me on Twitter or Instagram. I'd love to see what you guys come up with. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye guys.